Hello, everyone. Super happy to be here with Katy and Paco from Lunared, Producción Cultural. We're here to share a lot of news, actually, explore a little bit the project, what it is about, the camp that you two and more beautiful people are bringing and building at the gathering, and also your crowdfunding campaign. All of this is interlinked together in various different ways that we will explore in the next 10 minutes or so. But the most important part really is you and who you are. So I'd love to start maybe Katy first by asking you a very simple and very complicated question. Who are you? What are you about? What are your passions, obsessions?
I am Katy, who I am me. Yes. I'm originally from Germany, I have to say, but I've been living in Spain for over 20 years now, nearly 20. So I'm from nowhere by now. And my passion has always been about trying to get to a better world. And in the last years, it's more and more become clear that I want to work with getting alternative organizations and proposals to work. And I do this from a regenerative point of view, drinking a lot from permaculture, from nonviolence, and from different holistic ways of thinking mixed up. And yeah, that is me and lots of more things that I won't tell.
I'm sure, but we can already scratch the surface. Thank you. What about you, Paco?
I'm from the Canary Islands. I'm from Gran Canaria, but born in Tenerife and lived in Spain and other countries of Europe. Have a technical background. I'm a mechanical engineer, but I'm also into nature, holistic stuff, and permaculture, agriculture. So I'm still on my path, finding myself, but I've been always into a change of how things work in these islands and for to have a better place for the people here and for the nature, and of course for the rest of the world.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, if you had told me you had arrived and the path was finished, I would have been worried. So this is great. Cool. Thank you for the intro. I'd love to jump forward towards, Lunared. What is it about? So most of the people watching, I think, know the very basics, which is that you're based in the Canary Islands, that it's land-based and community building related projects. Okay, already I'm wrong. So I'll just give you the mic and let you explain the story, the history, the values, the vision.
Lunared is an association which came, yes, out of a crazy night of talking and dreaming a couple of years ago. And yeah, it's called Lunared, Red Moon, but also red is network in Spanish. So it's a moon network. And the idea is we took this word cultural production, this idea of cultural production, not so much as doing organizing arts, but as doing cultural transformation. So the big vision of Lunared is a society with a different culture, with a culture we started calling it culture of life. Regenerative culture is another synonym for this. So it's always, we always wanted to just participate in this cultural transformation and do things that help to this cultural transformation towards a culture of life. So basic ethics and values is, if we go with permaculture, earth care, people fair share, people care, fair share, it would be one definition of our values and vision, and everything could be seen from that. And on the practical side, what we're doing mainly is trainings and courses at this point. Yes, especially in permaculture and also in regenerative project design. But it's supposed to be a network, a project of projects. So we hope that with time we really grow into a variety of activities.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for clarifying. Paco, is there anything you want to add to that, or is it complete?
No, that Lunared, the one good aspect that I like it is like it can be a project of projects. So it can be an umbrella for people that want to do their own whatever stuff related with what we do, but then we can give them the legal coverage and the help and the website we have, so they can do the projects, although they are not registered as an association. They haven't got their DAT number, so we have it, so you can do your project with us.
Right. Okay. Amazing. Super interesting.
But it has to be in the Canary Islands because we're a regional association.
For now, but this will grow
For
into
now, yeah,
a
for now.
global network of local umbrella projects. Beautiful. That's such a big topic in the space. No, I'm myself coming originally more from land-based and restoration projects. And this question of how to enable, right, all the people who are actually doing work on the ground to bring this forward within the boundaries of the system that we live in is a huge one that keeps coming up. So I actually didn't know this component was so important in Lunared. This is super interesting.
It is. We have land-based aspects and we have land-based people, but we're more, it's a cultural piece. And for me, it's the important piece to work on at the moment. Because if the land-based work, we do have the technology, we do have the knowledge. What we need now is a change of hearts and minds and action so we can apply this knowledge. And this is cultural work and personal work.
Yeah, and it's also exactly our mission and vision, of course, at the Gathering, right? Both the culture emergence, I don't like to say culture building, but the culture emergence bit, and this idea of the network of networks, right? That really create this new culture and that strengthen the ecosystem by doing resource pulling and creating a culture based on collaboration and many more things. So yeah, really, really blessed to have you at the Gathering. So I think this is the right moment to jump into the practicalities. If you're still listening, your curiosity has been piqued, and you may want to join the Lunared camp. Can I hand over to you, I think, Paco, to explain a little bit more about the camp and specifically about the crowdfunding campaign that is linked to the community effort of building this camp and coming all the way to Portugal from the Canary Islands.
Yeah, our main reason to go to the Gathering, of course, is to learn from the other groups of the regenerative culture and have a lot of input of how things are flowing in the world. But also we want to show what are the Canary Islands, the culture we have here, where we come from the ancient culture, that we are descendants of those ancestors, and the actual modern problems that we are facing due to the global economy, the massive tourism, the destruction of our environment, and the problem of the local people here. That is some crazy things like going to the grocery shopping is more expensive here than in Germany, for example, and the salaries are much, much lower. So we want to show all these issues, that is a big social problem that some people say it's going to be it's going to explode soon if we do nothing. We have to do something.
Yeah.
Yes. Just to say, because me being the migrant in the Canary Islands and living with side by side with Canarian people, which is, I discovered a lot of things, and it's a long dialogue we want to bring in. There is the issue of colonialism, because Canary Islands was one of the first colonies. Nobody knows this. Yeah. There's the issue of tourism. There's an issue of the environmental issue that Paco named, and there's one that was implicit in what he said, which is poverty. Canary Islands within Spain is one of the parts of the country which the biggest extremes between people who have a lot of money, there is money on the Canary Island, and the general population who has the lowest salaries. And yes, it's just really in Spain, it's I'm not sure if it's the lowest or one of the lowest. It's a really polarized society. Yeah, and there are a lot of other issues and topics to talk about and to struggle with in depth. And for me, all the camp and going and coming back is a dialogue. Yes, from my contradiction, Paco from his being a migrant there. Yes, where there are too many migrants, being a European in a colony. Paco with all his history and of the local community and the people we are going to invite and want to take, just to share this contradictory and difficult reality with the world, because we have an influx of digital nomads who come there. Oh, how nice is the Canary Island, little paradise, and they don't even know the price the local population pays for it. And on the other hand, also for me, it's very important what Paco said in the beginning is the people that come to the camp, that they learn and get to know what is happening outside in the world, because the idea of regenerative thinking has not arrived yet on the Canary Islands.
And in the
We're a bit far away. Sorry.
Yeah, we're in our bubble, right? Some days I tend to think that the world is regenerative. It's not really. I love this so much. I love this idea of really bringing people into the gathering, because this is how we describe it also, right? The gathering as this 5-day microcosm of our society, really. Of course, with a regenerative angle put on it. But a space where you can really get this instant connection with a lot of people that represent a lot of spaces, right? Both geographical, but also spheres and sectors of the regenerative ecosystem. And for you guys to also bring in this perspective from the Canary Islands, right? Of this is what's happening on the ground in this region or bioregion. These are the problems we're facing. What I see in terms of opportunity is twofold. It's number one, I am pretty sure that although problems are unique, they can also be shared in a certain way. So for you to hear maybe, hey, the same thing is happening in South Portugal, you know, with those variants, and this is what we're doing as a community to work with it or tackle it or fight it or whatever it is. Let's share those resources. Or we are in a completely different situation, which allows us to develop certain tools that you could use in your bioregion. So this kind of, you know, exchanges, which really is human nature. No, I mean, this is what we have, language, and we live in tribes and groups. So how can we reproduce that? Amazing. Thank you so much. I want to jump into the meaty part of this interview, which is the crowdfunding campaign. And before I say too much, I want to first give you an opportunity to introduce it, and then I'll jump after you. Who wants to start? Paco.
Yeah, me too. I can start, no problem. So with this crowdfunding, this fundraising, we want to have enough money so we can take people from our society to the gathering, artisans, all people that know how the life of the ancient culture that we have few left over here, and to share the way of life that we had here, and also the one we have now with these changes I was telling you before, with the massive tourism and the few control protections that our politicians give us.
And just to add, when we started thinking about organizing and going to the camp and started talking with the people we wanted to invite, we just saw that hardly anybody really could pay for it. We said, okay, it's a flight and then 100 and something ticket. And they looked at us and say, yeah, no. And then we said, yeah, if we want to take somebody, we have to go through a different campaign and a different way, because if not, people can't. Just a lot of people, there are people who can pay and I hope will pay for attending, but other people can't pay. This is why we chose to go this route.
Thank you. Yeah. And so to add on top of this, so we will put all the links in the description or the comments as you watch this video. But Luna Red is effectively doing a crowdfunding campaign to finance their camp at the gathering. So the money that is gathered and that is donated would be going towards two elements. Correct me if I'm wrong. Number one is the actual transport towards the gathering and infrastructure, but I think it would be pretty low cost for the camp itself. And the second element is actually bringing those people that can't necessarily afford a ticket, but that have so much to bring to the space in there. And this is a topic that's been obviously flying around a lot within the circles of the gathering and the community. This idea of the ticket relatively to, you know, European prices is quite accessible. But the point is it's not zero. And so there is still really the need, I think, to think together. How can we make sure that those people who need to attend can attend regardless of the ticket price and regardless of the basic expenses? So this is, I guess, a call to those who feel the resonance, who understand the values, who understand the vision of this, and who have high income or medium income, but who are basically able to give a little bit of money to help bring those amazing people into the gathering space. Yeah. Is there anything you want to add?
From my side, it's all
Thank you.
good. Thank you very much.
Yes.
In this case, thank you so much. And yes, as I said, all the links will be in the descriptions. And thank you everyone who can support for your support.